Our final object that we're going to be looking at is the reports, and we should do a report based on all the queries that we have. So to do this, we're going to go to create, and we are going to create our report using our report wizard. So wizard will help us to do this easy. So click on the first query, which is 1984, and we're going to take across all the elements that we need, and we're going to go up. We can organize how we want it to look. We can choose how we want it. We can even click to arrange all our items in alphabetical order or by payment or whatever it is. So we can choose that to either go by first name, last name. We can choose how we want to make the arrangement, and then we can choose how we want it to look, choosing the paper size, choosing all of these areas, and we would name our query, and this is a report, so we don't call it query. So it's 1984 report, and now we're going to view it, and this is what it looks like. Now our date of birth page is showing everything over here. Our date of birth, we're not able to see what our date of birth look like, so it means that we need to design our report. So we can click on the report, close. Once you close the report, you can now click to edit, just as you would with the others. We're now going to drag these in so that our report can have some space on our paper. Drag an individual item by itself. You need to pull on the large square so that it pulls by itself. If you just drag without doing that, then the entire item is going to be pulled together, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you what I am talking about by just, if you just drag it by itself. So for example, if I click on this and I just go ahead and drag like that, they're in two different areas, so we can drag them over to where we want them to be. And now our date of birth, we can increase the field size so that our date of birth can show much longer than it did before. So if we go back to look at this now, there it goes. So it shows you a more precise look. You can also add photos and things on your report just as I did with the form. So now that we have completed this report, we're going to move on to putting in the other report. So let's go back to create, and we are going to go for the report wizard. This time we're doing the report based on the other query, which is our Jamaican query, which tells us all those persons who are of a particular nationality, which is Jamaica. Click next and click next. Continue. We're going to call this Jamaican report. And that looks pretty good. So we will move on, close this, and continue over to creating the final report based on what we have. So we go to our report wizard, and now we're going to do one based on paid. Now for this one, we are going to just click finish because it's everything, and we would have gone through that process, so you know. But for this one, we want to be able to view our total amount, because you want to know how much money you're making so far, and we're going to put the total amount here in the header of the report so that we can see. So we're going to do that now. So every time someone pays money, we can get a total amount. So that's what we want to do. So to do this, we're going to add in a text box. And text box, all of these things are text box that are used. So this text box here is the one that we're going to call grand total, which should tell us how much money is paid, and this is going to be controlled. Now to do this, for it to be able to do the calculations in this case is pretty much like you do when you do Microsoft Excel, but the syntax for each is a bit different. However, I'm going to show you how that is done. So in order for us to have a calculated field, we go to control source, and we're going to click the three little dots in the control source, which will open up what is called an expression builder. Here is where you're able to create your calculations or your formulas. So what we want is the total of the amount paid. So amount paid is a value field that carries figures, so we can have calculations taking place inside here just as you would with Excel. In this case, it's the total we want, so we're going to use our total sum. We know that normally total sum in Excel would be equal sum open bracket and from cell A to wherever cell that is. In this case, there is no cell that is defined as A1 or whatever it is. It is just defined as a text box. So how do we get it? I'm going to show you. So you would type the expression as equal sum, and here it says return values of sum inside a specific field. So we're going to click the sum, and the field, we can look for it down here. We know that it's amount paid, so we're gonna, here it says amount paid labor. That's not where we're taking it from. We're taking it from the actual field that says amount paid. So you can double click on amount paid, and if you know what it is, you could have typed it in for yourself, but just to be on the safe side, it's best to look for it in the categories where you want that to come from, and you close the bracket and click OK. Once you have done that, if you go to view, you should see the total amount, and here we have grand total and we have the amount presented here. Now we want our total to have the dollar sign in it also, so we're going to go back to the design view, and here in our property sheet we're going to choose the format, and we're going to change this format to currency. And once we have done that, if we go to view, we should see the value in the currency. And that is how you do the reports.